All right, so begins the first review we've done on the new set of the entertainment guide, which is still in progress. It's not. This is not all the Funkos. It's what, 3/4?
No, that's a spec.
I think it's like 3/4 of them.
It's not even close. He's
It's close.
making up things.
It's a little bit.
It's
a little
not
bit close.
even.
It is.
The hockey net's probably not going to be in the set either.
No, we're gonna put that outside. I'm gradually taking it outside. It'll sit next to the house
You
gradually.
can't take it out through that door, though.
I can try.
Oh.
I might be able to. It's easier to take it out through our room, though.
See, that's what I was thinking.
Anyways, today we went out
Most
and we
people have
saw.
hockey net in their kitchen, right?
That's common,
Right,
yeah.
it's totally
That's normal. It reminds me of Happy Gilmore. Do you always walk around with a hockey puck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today we went out and we saw Captain Marvel. I do not have a Captain Marvel jersey, nor do I have a jersey of Captain anything. I don't have a Marvel jersey. I should have got the Captain America back in the day, which has the shield and the red, white, and blue. I would have been able to wear that to the movie today. That would have been great.
Yeah.
I wore the lightning because I figured she has lightning powers, so that works.
It was an ugly lightning jersey, though. But
She's wrong. Anyways, so Captain Marvel, I went into this with sort of my expectation was it would probably be a good movie. It's an origin story. The thing is now with Marvel, you can kind of tell that they're not telling you the whole story because they want to save some of it for the next movie.
right.
The original Iron Man, they didn't know how well it was going to do, so the original Iron Man is this really great full movie where you really get to know Tony Stark. This one, you really don't get to know Carol Danvers at all. Not in the slightest.
No, not really.
And I think, and there's going to be spoilers in this, so I'm just letting people know now. If you haven't already seen it, I recommend it. She recommends it as well. I think it's your average Marvel fare. Not the greatest, not the worst. A lot of space battles at the start and at the end, and a nice twist. There was a nice twist in there too. So that being said, if you're on the fence about seeing it, we would both recommend that you do.
Yep.
From here on, you're acknowledging you will be around for spoilers. And 3, 2, 1, and spoiler time. So I will never again look at a cat and not think it might have tentacles in his mouth. Because that was kind of awesome.
That was fun.
And there was a lot of fun stuff in this. Now, my only nitpick is, so her memories kind of come back, and then she's kind of Carol again, but she kind of isn't, and I'm like, wait, so...
She didn't get her whole memory back.
But she started acting differently, but not really. So...
Because she's remembering more of her. She's around the people that she was around when she was herself. So I think she's still her. She just can't remember who she was. So being around those people, I think, would bring that out in her. Would bring out those little characteristics that she would have. So I think that'd be what it was.
I know I've seen people complain about how wooden she looked in the trailers and the previews. I'm not gonna say that she didn't have her moments where she seemed kind of wooden, but it's the way it was written. Mm-hmm. That to me was the script more than anything else. There's a movie she was in. We haven't watched it together yet, but Room, which is very, very well done movie. And she acts the hell out of that one. So to me, it's just she was playing to the script. I think part of it is there are some wisecracks in here, and I don't know if that works with Brie Larson or not. Maybe she's not as good at the wisecracks as like Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. obviously would be fantastic at it. He's Iron Man, and of course Chris Evans is Captain America, but some of that kind of was a little stilted, but it was still very enjoyable, I thought.
Yeah.
So now, you wouldn't watch the Avengers movies with me before. Was this hard to follow, despite the fact you hadn't seen the Avengers? No?
No, and you asked me if I wanted to watch them before. No. Mm-mm. I watched that. Was the not Captain America? That was terrible.
Yeah, we reviewed that one, I think.
I think so. That was awful.
Captain America Civil War.
Yeah, it's not a Captain America movie. We watched not Captain America. That was terrible. So it makes me not want to watch most Marvel movies.
See,
yeah, if there's more than like 10 main characters, it's not entertaining.
And I think the reason
No.
they've stuffed so many characters into the Marvel universe is A, there's money to be made.
They want it to be
And
really expensive.
B, when Thanos does this thing, he can kill off half the characters and still have a whole Avengers force
really don't
left
like
behind. So
Don't like it.
I know
Nope, I don't want to watch it.
I know there's a fear that Captain Marvel is going to be that I don't even know why I'm calling her Captain Marvel because she's never called that once in the entire movie.
No.
I don't even understand why it's called that other than because that's what they call it. But she's Veers for most of the movie,
Yeah.
and then they start referring to her as Carol.
Yeah.
So I know the fear is that Carol Danvers is going to be this overpowered super hero that's going to just fix everything. I don't think they're going to go that way. There's certainly a Superman characteristic to the character,
Yep.
which is not unusual. DC and Marvel have plenty of characters that kind of mirror each other, and they mirror each other enough that you can see the resemblance, but not so much that there's a copyright infringement going on, right down to her wearing red and blue like Superman. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. I know they were talking about maybe doing a sequel to it if this one was a hit. It made 150 million the first weekend, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's a hit. But I know she's going to be in Endgame, and then there's some talk about whether or not Endgame would actually be it for her. I can't see that though. They this movie had a big budget on it, so I think what their plan is to have this sort of jumpstart the new characters. So they're going to kill off some of the other characters and bring in new ones. I'm not sure what you're shaking your head about.
It's so ridiculous.
it's about making money.
I know, but it's not.
It's because you can make a lot of
like
money.
Okay, but see, Disney makes a lot of money.
And Disney runs Marvel.
And they make new... I know, but okay, think of the Disney movies.
Just imagine a Disney movie with all the princesses in it.
That'd be awful.
Just imagine. You could have all the princesses fighting a witch together.
That'd be terrible.
That'd be great.
But, they make new movies.
And then Lion King's there for no reason.
And the other characters don't make little pop-ins and, hey, look at you.
But this is comics, and comics has always had the crossovers.
I know, but it's getting
now,
obnoxious.
What I liked in this movie was...
It's not entertaining.
I've watched Avengers cartoons, and in Avengers cartoons, the Skrulls show up, and it's chaos. Because you never know whether or not a superhero is actually a Skrull until you shoot him. And so the Skrulls infiltrate the Avengers, and there's this whole evil Skrulls, and the Avengers are trying to fight them off. Now, in this movie, they bring in the Skrulls and the Kree, and they are both villains in the comics. There's no good guys in this war. They're just all killing each other, and humans are trying not to, like Earth's trying to just stay out of it. In the movie, the Skrulls start out as the villains, and then they're not the villains by the end of the movie. And I thought that turn was very well done.
Yeah.
Because when he shows up at Rambo's house, and I don't know why her last name's Rambo. And if somebody says, well, it's in the comics, it's weird that her last name's Rambo, because we all think of Stallone when we hear the name Rambo. So that I know it's spelled different, but it was still like, Rambo, really? But yeah, when the Skrulls show up at her house, I remember thinking, they're screwing with him. They're doing a mind trick on her. They're doing something with Carol. They're going to do a mind trick, and then at the last second, they're going to turn on her, and then somebody's going to have to make the save. The problem was at this point, you already knew Jude Law was going to be the bad guy, because he's Jude Law.
Right.
It's like when you see...
looks like a bad guy.
It's like when you see Sean Bean in a movie, you go, okay, so he's going to die, because he's Sean Bean, and it's sort of like Jude Law, well, he's a bad... It's like when we were watching the Orient Express. And right away you're like, oh, well, he has to be the killer because he's a bad guy and everything he's in.
He's usually the killer.
So there was sort of that with Jude Law as well. And he did turn out to be a villain. She didn't kill him, which makes me wonder if he's going to show up in Endgame. I do wonder if he's going to show up in the Avengers movie with the other 486
Need
characters
more
that survive.
characters. They might have a shortage of characters, so you don't want
Well,
to kill them off.
well, at least they still have Thor. So, Thor's still there.
That's good.
And Thor doesn't have a hammer anymore. They took the hammer away. But we watched Ragnarok, so you know that he lost the hammer.
I don't remember that one. Is
No,
that the one I fell asleep during?
No, you fell asleep during the original Thor.
The first one.
Ragnarok
That's
is the
right.
one where his sister breaks the hammer. She just grabs it and
right,
it smashes.
Right. Okay. I don't remember movies so well. I really don't.
Not the Marvel ones, no.
No, because I don't care. There's some movies I remember really well. Movies that I'm just not really interested into, I don't remember them. It's like my brain's like, I don't need to hold on to that information.
But I can honestly say, like, I will definitely be buying the movie. Because before we even saw it, I had to pay for this. Let me just put the actual popcorn down. I didn't even want the popcorn.
We have way too much popcorn.
I didn't want the popcorn.
We have so much.
This popcorn tin, which I'm not going to use for popcorn. I'll use it for something else. It's metal, so I could use it for magnets.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I could. And they won't fall out because it's magnetic. So the magnetic field plus the metal, nothing ever falls out.
There you go.
That's how that works. That's some science I'm throwing at you.
There's magnetic field.
There's some science I'm throwing at you.
Yeah. Bear wants to know why that's on the coal.
I don't know. Do they not have water?
When I checked it, I can't see from here. When I checked it earlier, they did. When Pixel jumped up on the sink.
All right. Well, she's checking out the sink. I think it weirds them out that there's 2 kitchens, so they're trying to figure out why. But yeah, so it was a very entertaining movie. I thought Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury was good. Could you tell that he was CGI enhanced to look younger?
I wasn't really paying attention to that.
And the other Agent Coulson, the one that lets them go, he was also CGI enhanced to look 20 years younger. Because he's from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from the series. He's actually the main actor on there.
Series like show?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that's been on for 6 years. It ties the whole Marvel universe together.
Because there's not enough movies. So.
Well, no, it doesn't have the actual movie heroes and villains in it. It's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that has like kind of secondary characters. Just the minor characters you don't see in the movies.
Pass.
But it's not a bad show.
Pass.
It's not bad.
Pass.
Okay. So, yeah. It left me wanting to see Endgame. There is an Endgame nugget in the in-between scenes. So before the after-end credit scene, but after the movie's over, so it's the mid-credit scene.
It's so silly.
It's
kind of ridiculous.
But yeah, so you have
Disappointing.
Black Widow and Captain America, and they've got the transmitter that Samuel L. Jackson activated at the end of Infinity War, and they're trying to figure out who it's calling and where all this is going to, and then the sucker goes out, and then she's just standing there. They didn't hear her come in. I don't remember her having stealth in that movie either, but then she can just magically, she's there. So I guess she learned stealth while she was away.
They weren't paying attention.
It's considering they are what's left of the Avengers and half of them are dead. They should probably have a lock on their door and probably have an alarm rigged on it, because half of them are dead.
Maybe she melted the lock.
They should have heard that, and they should have had an alarm on the door.
She didn't do it all. She did it all.
They should have had an alarm on the door.
She melted that too.
So, anyways, she's probably my favorite hero now in the Marvel universe. Probably.
All right.
What's that? What's the eye roll for?
You're such a boy.
I know. But yeah, I would say probably the best hero. And I say that despite the fact that I don't think this was the best movie. I would like to see, if they do a second movie, I'd like to see her lose her powers. Sort of like Tony Stark in Iron Man 3, he loses the suit and the money and the power, and he has to kind of, make it on his own a little bit. In the last Avengers movie, Bruce Banner, who's the Incredible Hulk, the Hulk won't come out. He's like, all right, we got to Hulk up.
That one?
Nope. No, that was in Ragnarok. He couldn't control it.
Oh,
So if
okay.
the Hulk came out again, he knew he couldn't go back to
Oh, okay.
being
Yeah.
Bruce. But in this one, in Avengers, he was Bruce. He couldn't get the Hulk to come out.
Okay.
Every time he tried to get the Hulk to come out, the Hulk said no. And there's talk about whether it's because Thanos kicked his ass, which he did, or if it's because he's tired of Bruce calling him every time he needs him. It's like, fix it yourself. I don't want to do it. So that's a storyline too going into Avengers Endgame, because
All right.
Hulk's still around, but it's Bruce Banner. But it did make it so that Bruce had to figure it out on his own in the last Avengers movie. It would be nice to see her go through that too. Because it's sort of the ultimate Deus Ex Machina when your hands can just turn into fire and blast everybody. It really is. It's the ultimate way out of every situation. We're in trouble. All right. Her hands turn into fire, shoots beams of energy at everybody. All right.
She flies through it.
She can fly now.
Fix it.
How does she breathe in space?
She just does.
Reasons. There's a point where she's wearing a suit to breathe in space that sort of envelops her head,
With the mohawk.
but which is weird. But then there's a part towards the end of the movie where she's just in space with her hair flowing, and I'm thinking, no, she's dead. So that's my one nitpick with the movie, would be that she should be dead. That's where I was like, yeah, this is where Captain Marvel or not.
Everything else is totally fine, but the breathing in space, nah.
Well, just for the character, everything else seemed consistent, but that was one of those things I was like, this is weird. And if it's because they wanted the hero vision of her, sort of like you have with Superman, where he goes out into space and he does the big arc, and then he arcs back down towards the Earth.
Like whenever she was in space.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that with her legs?
Yeah, they kind of went with that Superman moment, but for her, they had to make the pose a little different. They couldn't actually give her a cape and have her arm up, because then she's Super Carol Danvers. They never call her Captain Marvel. I still don't understand why she's called Captain. She's not a captain either.
No, just at the very end.
She's not a
They were saying,
captain.
Marvel? It's not Marvel.
But-
it's Marvel.
But yeah, and that's the thing. She wasn't the one called Marvel or Marvel at all. She's just Carol Danvers. So I guess maybe we find out in the next movie
But-
why you call her
okay,
Captain
so-
Marvel,
So Samuel L. Jackson,
who's awesome.
he was writing the thing. He decided to call it Avengers because it's the side of the...
Her jet has that
Jet,
her
right?
her nickname was Avenger, which
He was the one talking to her about
clumsy.
Marvel versus Marvel. What if, as he's looking for these other heroes, he does some kind of writing and decides to call her
Captain
Captain Marvel?
Maybe.
Because he has to call her something.
Maybe.
Maybe he wanted kind of a gender neutral thing to call her.
So
Or Captain because she flew jets. I don't know.
the
but-
one
That would make sense why it was Marvel.
yeah the one other thing too that we need to talk about is the cat. Goose. Goose was fun.
That was fun.
And again, I will always look at cats and make sure they
Not
don't have
aliens,
tentacles in their
no.
mouths.
Get that away from me.
Yeah, because you see, he knew.
Yeah.
He knew that it wasn't a cat. They're like, it's a cat.
Like, can you turn into a cat?
Nope.
What's a cat?
Nope. What I liked too was when they said, "Can you turn into
A file cabinet?
file cabinet?" Why would I
would
want
I
to
wanna
turn
be
into a
file
file
cabinet?
cabinet? So the Skrulls are good guys in this, running from the Kree, and the Skrull leader Talos can tell that the cat is actually a what's
Whatever
the
they
term?
called it. I don't know.
Firkin?
Oh, something like that.
Ferken, I think, Firkin. Which is something you say when you stub your toe in the middle of the night.
It's not something I say, but okay.
I have. Yeah, it was fun because that was kind of your foreshadowing, was that's not a cat. And then the question comes up, how'd the cat get to Earth? So did the scientist lady bring it to Earth?
Yes. Well,
Was
no,
it waiting
why would
around
she-
for 6 years till
It was
Carol
hers,
came back?
though.
Because it seemed to gravitate to Carol.
Yes.
And it seemed to understand who the good guys and the bad guys were in any given situation. And it had no problem attacking the bad guys. Or scratching Nick Fury. So if you always wondered what happened to his eye, it was a cat scratch.
Not a cat.
Not a cat, but still.
It's Because he
Looks like a
was
cat.
in his face. Oh, look
Who's
at
you
you.
good kitty? Who's you? Yeah. Yeah. And then, oh, that's okay. It's just a scratch. And then, no. Nope. Don't worry. It'll heal right up. No, it won't. Nope. So, yeah. The cat, I think, is going to show up again at some point. Did Nick have the cat in the other movies is something that I was asking myself by the end of this. Like, wait, did he have a cat? Was there a scene that they showed us Nick with a cat? Like, I don't remember, and I haven't gone through all the spoiler Easter egg stuff because there's sites that nerdily go through
yes.
every detail of the movie, and they know this when
Yeah.
they make it. So I haven't gone through the nerdily details yet on it. That's the technical term, nerdily details.
There you go.
So yeah, this was a very, very good movie, I thought. I'm not going to be as generous in my rating as I normally am. I'm going to give it an 8. Only because I don't know, it seemed at the end kind of like it was rushed, and they were trying
It
to.
just kept going again.
They were trying to make.
Another one of those movies.
You know what it reminded me of was Revenge of the Sith. How at the end of Revenge of the Sith they go, okay, we need all of these pieces in place. We need to hit all of these spots so that the fanboys in the crowd go, wow. So like, Darth Vader standing next to Tarkin, watching as the Death Star is being built. Way too early for that, but okay, fine. And so you have that, and you have to have C-3PO and R2-D2's minds are erased or memories are erased. It's just stupidity, just to make sure it all matches up. And it felt like at the end of this, they had to make sure everything matched. So the villains they brought in that are going to be in movies set later, we can't kill them off. So you have to have some kind of a stupid reason why they leave, and they stop trying to kill everybody. And it was that to me was a little bit clumsy. So I would probably give this an 8 out of 10, which is higher than what you're going to give it.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 6.5.
She had a 9 Inch Nails shirt though.
She did. That was
That
kind
has
of
to
fun,
be a 7.
and the music was kind of fun. They had REM in there, which
The soundtrack
which
was
is
great.
awesome.
The soundtrack was great.
Nirvana and the Hole
Garbage.
and No Doubt. Yeah, that
Only
was
happy when it rains.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was a good.
There
it
was
good.
some crappy '90s music, but
Connection was in there. That's a great song.
wasn't that TLC at the beginning?
Oh, Waterfalls.
Yeah,
That's barely in there. That's just barely.
it was there
in
though.
Yeah. But again, I think they were gravitating towards the female artists for Carol Danvers. I think
True.
because it was a female-driven movie, I think they wanted it to be female singers. So I think that's what they were going for, other than Nirvana.
Maybe and REM.
REM was just heard in the background. It wasn't technically
I
played
heard
during
it
an action
'cause
scene.
I like REM. So
I know you like REM,
they're awesome.
but that's okay. I accept you as you are.
Brad.
It's okay.
Watch it. I'll break out the REM CDs. I think I have like 5.
That's fine.
At least, maybe 6.
How do you tell any of them apart? They're all basically the same.
No.
It's just
No.
they just take the same songs, wipe out the lyrics, and make new songs with
No.
the same tunes.
Shannon.
It's just the same.
Whatever.
And then but I will dedicate Everybody Hurts to you.
Shannon. No.
We can
Shannon likes to say that he dedicates the most terrible songs to me. Because if you don't listen to him, it sounds like a love song, and then you listen to the words, then you're like, that's not at all.
It's true to base, sweetie.
Yeah. And Blue by Perfect Circle.
That's a great song. It's a nice
It's
color on you too.
It's a terrible song.
And then
it's a good song, but
and then
the lyrics,
Noose is a really good song too.
Noose.
It's about what an angel you are with your
It's not
halo.
what that song is about.
Angels and halos.
So not what that song's about.
It is. It's fine.
It's not. Shannon's a dork.
fine.
So.
Anyways, yeah, I would recommend I would recommend this movie to anybody who likes the Marvel series. If you don't, if you like Superman, you might like
the
this
Marvel
one.
Series. Nah. Really don't.
But you liked Ant-Man.
You have fuzz on your face.
You liked Ant-Man.
Yeah, that
You
one
liked
was
Ant-Man and the
entertaining
Wasp.
enough, yeah.
And
Some of them are
Black
okay.
Panther.
That one was okay.
So it's the standalones you like. It's when they
Not
start
all of them.
cramming them all together. Well, you like
I
Captain
really
America.
don't like it. I like the first one.
And you liked Winter Soldier.
Is that the really crappy one?
No, you're thinking of Civil War.
That was terrible.
Uh,
I don't like
no,
that one.
Winter Soldier was the one in between. It was where Hydra's risen again, and this time it's his friend Bucky that's been mind raced to go around killing everybody.
No.
And he has to get
that
through to
one.
Bucky, and he has to convince him that they're in love with each other, without saying it.
I
It was a silent love between Bucky and Steve.
don't really remember that one.
I'm kidding. They're just friends, but of course the
I
universe
just
had
remember how
to blow it
horrible
up
the
into something
third
else.
one was.
See, and I think that's taken the Winter Soldier out of your memory.
Yeah.
But you liked the Winter Soldier when we watched it.
Okay. Did we review that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I just remember how bad the third one was. That was terrible.
It didn't hold up under a second viewing for me. No, it's too many.
I
But you liked
couldn't watch the first one. So.
you liked Spider-Man: Homecoming,
That one was okay, yeah.
and you
Didn't
liked the
we see
original
that?
Iron Man. Yes, we saw that at the
saw
theater.
it theater.
You liked Iron
Iron
Man.
Man? Yeah, that one was okay. I didn't watch all the gajillions of other Iron Men though.
You liked Thor: Ragnarok. The original Thor you fell asleep during, but you liked the parts you saw.
But I didn't see the whole story. So.
It is kind of slow in parts, but we'll watch
Yeah.
it again sometime because, of course, I have it.
I have other movies we could watch instead.
Oh, I know we do. I'm gonna order.
have a
I'm gonna
lot.
order this one though. Just so you know, I'm gonna go on to Amazon and order it.
I have a lot of movies you haven't watched yet.
Well, we still have to see A Star
they
Is Born.
don't have superheroes in them. Yes, I would like to watch that one.
We're going to. So I'll bring a
That'd be
lot of
good.
Kleenex for you because I think it's going to be a lot of crying in that movie.
What are you trying to say, Shannon?
I'm trying to say that crying is something that happens with you during movies, news, commercials, really emotional songs, new Tool albums when they finally come out.
Oh, that'll be great.
So, yeah. Anyways, there you go. Captain Marvel, pretty solid movie. Good character added to the universe, and we'll see how many they take out next month in Endgame. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. For me and for her, this is it for now. Talk to you again soon.